social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Conference play begins next week for the 2A season, making this week as crucial as ever to get everything dialed in before the quest of the AA playoffs officially starts next week. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you from the Bijou Activity Center for the second time this week on the PSP Network. What better way, though, to close out the non-conference slate than with a matchup that has never been seen before. It's the first ever meeting between Dickinson and Central Cass, and not only that, it's going to fall on the homecoming night of Dickinson High School. It is a packed parking lot out there, so expect a packed grandstands once everyone starts filing in after tailgating here for Maverick homecoming, the first ever homecoming with the namesake, the Mavericks, for Dickinson High. It's also the first season Central Cass is at the 2A level. After being an 11A power of recent memory, the Squirrels have jumped up to 2A. And roster size-wise, I mean, this team was playing at 11A. They got a bigger roster than a lot of teams in 2A. So for them, they've been fitting in just well. As you see with their record there, 2-1. We'll jump into that a little bit later. But before we jump into this intriguing matchup tonight, let's dive in to those 2A standings, and you are going to see Central Cass on the list as you see it there. Minot, North, Kindred, Grand Forks Central. They're your three undefeated teams in 2A. Minot North, though, they have been the number one from the get-go, 18 first-place votes. Kindred has 2 first-place votes sitting at number 2, and then Grand Forks Central at the 3rd spot. That Grand Forks Central night team is the team that Dickinson High fell to last week, and now they get into number 5 this week. Devils Lake sits at number 4, splitting the difference, and again, the Squirrels rounding out the top 5. Other teams receiving votes, Grand Forks Red River and the Watford City Wolves. Well, we took a look at where they stand in the grand scheme of things, but where do these two teams stand in their conference? Again, the quest for the playoffs, it kicks off next week is when region season will officially be upon us. So, hey, today's game doesn't quite matter of if you're going to make the playoffs or not, but you want to get everything dialed in because after that, then you got 5 straight weeks of meaningful football games that you need to win. As you see right now, just based off a non-region game, Central Cass 3rd out of the East, and for Dickinson right at the 4th spot. Again, top 4 from the East, top 4 from the West. We'll do it out in the playoffs in a couple of, or no, month, a little over a month's time, so right around the corner. As you see there, a meeting at center field between Central Cass and Dickinson, and more to come on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show on the PSP Network when we return.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens, that's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Welcome back into the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. It's your locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years of the Lundins, taking care of people. Local actually matters. Not to mention, this oil change is a stay in your car or drive through oil change that is typically performed in 15 minutes or less. You can find them in Minot and Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. As you see the visitors on your screen out of Central Cass, they're making the jump from 11A to 2A. And also, you see a big gathering of players. Well, they got 64 players on their roster, and 64 players is actually more players on their roster than Fargo Davies has in 3A. And again, this team was playing on 11A last year, and if you just kind of compare what 11A is right now of like Trinity and Heart River, who we saw last night, Trinity's roster is 30. Heart Rivers is 25. These kids had 64 out there competing against similar teams that had half the amount of kids. They make the jump to 2A and are 2-1 on the season for Central Cass. And again, this is a team that was a powerhouse in single A, having 4 straight 8+ win seasons, 5 straight playoff appearances, making the postseason 9 of the last 11 seasons. Big thanks out to their head coach of Tommy Butler, 7th year, 46-21 under Butler, and a lot of that success was with him at the helm. This year, he transitions the Squirrels from single A to 2A, and they started their inaugural 2A season 2-1 with wins against Watford City, who's now receiving votes, and most recently Jamestown 27-18. That was last week, with their lone loss coming in week 2 at the hands of Devils Lake, who sits just a spot above them in the standings at number 4, 28-21. It was the Firebirds who scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter to break the stalemate and win that ball game. But week 4 has normally been good for Central Cass. It has been a week that they have won quite often. Central Cass has won their last 6 week 4 bouts, with the last week 4 loss coming all the way back in 2018 against Fargo Shanley. Their opponents tonight are the foes they've never seen before. It's the first ever meeting between Central Cass and DHS. For the side of Dickinson, the Mavericks, they look to pick up a win on homecoming night for the Mavericks. Again, they're taking on those Squirrels, seeing if they can kind of send it off the non-conference season in fashion and get ready for WDA bouts, as DHS looking for their program's 225th win since 1975. It'd be first-year head coach's Dawson McLaughlin's second win, and it would be his first against a 2A team, as at the helm of the Mavericks, who are 1-2 this year, falling in a back-and-forth game week 1 against Fargo South, 21-34. They bounce back against a 3A team against the Wilson Coyotes, 49-0. Last week, though, the Mavericks traveled across the state, falling to Grand Forks Central 44-21, as the Mavericks won their last 2 bouts on week 4 as they try to make it a streak and try to get in 3 straight on week 4 and head on over to the WDA season. As you see there, homecoming night, so it's always a fun thing to see what the homecoming shirt team's going to be, and against the Squirrels, it's Acorn Annihilation. So there you go. Always fun to see what they come up with, and they're ready to take on the Squirrels tonight here on homecoming. Homecoming night for the Dickinson Mavericks. More to come on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show when we continue on the PSP Network.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. 1 pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Brevera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts,
let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account,
to wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There's some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. There's a shot of Dickinson State that looms over the Bijou Activity Center. Dickinson State Blue Hawks football team going to be in action tomorrow against Carroll College at home. But that's going to wrap up a busy kind of 3 days at Fisher Field here at the Bijou Activity Center. Again, you had Dickinson Trinity versus Heart River last night. Central Cass versus Dickinson on DHS Homecoming tonight. And then it's Dickinson State versus Carroll College tomorrow. So very kind of the place to be right here in Dickinson in the Queen City. Well, let's start jumping in to this contest. But before we do, we got to take a check-in at what is coming up on the PSP Network. It's Friday Night Football, brought to you by Bones Barbecue Sauce, a true North Dakota original, created and bottled right here in North Dakota. This premium barbecue sauce is perfect on anything from ribs to burgers to even veggies. You can find it today at your local grocery store, Cashwise, Marketplace, and Family Fare. As you see the loaded slate, AAA football tonight on the PSP Network. Minot High taking on Shanley. Those pesky Packers out of West Fargo taking on Bismarck Century. Two teams that are very close to each other right now, and I think that should be a fun matchup. Fargo North versus Minot North, some big powers in AA. And speaking of AA football right here tonight, Central Cass, Dickinson, and in single A, Valva Drake, Anamoose Garrison, and DLB, the number 2 ranked Aggies, taking on the undefeated Lakers out of Delac Burlington. Yeah, there it is, Friday Night Football. Again, big thanks out to our sponsor of Bones Barbecue Sauce. Homecoming night, it's going to be a packed one as there was a lot of cars in the parking lot. As you see, everyone's starting to filing in here into the grandstands, as it should be a fun matchup. But let's start jumping into it. We talked a little bit about these two teams, their wins, their losses. Well, now let's start talking about some key players. And let's start it off with a team that is on the field right now in Central Cass. This Central Cass squad, 2-1. They have been as successful as ever. And leading the way for them is Colton Cruchet. He's a Montana Tech commit, 273 rushing yards, 129 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. As you see the horses race across the screen, and it is time for the Mavericks to hit the field, as here they come running out on their homecoming. But keep an eye on Cruchet for Central Cass. Again, we're committed to Montana Tech, and that means he'll probably be playing against Dickinson State at the Bijou Activity Center in the years to come. Well, then Brody Kegley, he's the junior quarterback, 72% completion percentage. Yeah, I said that right. 72% of the time he completes his passes, 722 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. One of his favorite targets is Blaze Cotton, the sophomore, 16 catches for 152 touchdowns. Pretty good defensive player as well as the sophomore, 15 tackles this year. But then you got to look at the big men for Central Cass. I think that's really what separates this team. Evan Wiersma, the senior offensive lineman. He's a Minnesota State Moorhead commit. He's pretty good on the defensive end, 14 tackles this year. And Aiden Wunderlich, he's going D1. He's number 75 on that offensive line. He's committed to the University of North Dakota. For the Dickinson Mavericks, you got to keep an eye on their weapons. especially those receivers. Paxton Leeson, 210 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 89 yards with 7 catches against Grand Forks Central last week. Dylan Glauser, 109 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Caleb Polens, 126 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns as well. And distributing them the ball, it's Nate Stevenson, 555 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But he's a dual threat, 242 yards on the ground. And defensively, keep an eye on number 4 for Dickinson. Devin Height leads them in 35 tackles. And head on over to tonight's national anthem. It's Friday night football in the Queen City. Dickinson High taking on Central Cass. We're going to get starting lineups and kickoff coming your way when we return on the PSP Network.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
We are almost ready to go for Dickinson High homecoming against Central Cass here on the PSP Network. I'm Brock Weidner joining you here for this fun one at the Bijou Activity Center. It is the last non-region game, and then they jump into region competition next week, and the rest of the way, every game matters. So you got to have the tune-up. You win, you lose today. You want to win. You definitely want to win, but if you lose, does not affect your playoff race. Starting, though, next week, that is where every game counts from there on. Well, they are going to be announcing the starting defense, of Dickinson, so let's talk about that starting defense. The defensive line, it's the senior Trevor Tolliver who turns back into the lineup. He'll be wearing the number 60, a new number there for Tolliver. Isaac Laria Jr. and the senior Cole Crossley joining him on the defensive front on a 3-4 defensive formation. It's the linebackers of Easton Blower, Devin Height, Colby Fasthorse, and Caden Cheddar. And the cornerbacks of Ethan Luna and Caleb Polens. Safeties tonight, Cooper Orton, the sophomore, and he'll be joined by the senior of Dylan Glauser. Let's meet the offense on over for Central Cass. Evan Wiersma, Ben Nelson, Jennings Cooney, Aiden Peterson, and Aiden Wunderlich. The men up front on that front line. The quarterback of Brody Cagley, running back of Colton Cruchet, Easton Holland, Blaze Cotton, and Carter Kasowski are the wide receivers. As they will be getting the ball to start, will the Squirrels and the visitors on the scoreboard. It is going to be a fun one here tonight. Could not have asked for a better night weather-wise. I looked in the weather app. It was like 60 or something degrees, so I had to pack a coat. I step out, and I'm like, no, what am I doing? It is warm out here. Just another day of paradise here in the Queen City. As Jackson Braun will boot this one away, and we are officially off and running for Maverick homecoming. Picked up by the Squirrels as they will return it back, bouncing out to the outside of the 30, the 35, breaking a tackle before being pushed down around the 42. A big return for Central Cass. And that's one way to get it started for the visitors on the scoreboard tonight of the Central Cass Squirrels. And again, these Squirrels, they know how to score 30 points per game this season. And this is an offense that has been kind of pass heavy at points, 241 passing yards per game to 120 rushing yards per game. That rushing attack still, though, very capable, 362 yards per game. This offense averages as Kegley bringing in his receiver of Holland into motion. They'll hand it off to Crochet. Crochet works to his left. Now he cuts upfield to the 45. He jukes into the 40 before being wrapped up at the 35-yard line. In on the tackle for the Mavericks, it was Cole Crossley as Crochet shows his wheels, and just like that, one play brings Central Cass into Dickinson High territory. There's a reason he's playing at the next level next year. Colton Crochet, again, he's a Montana Tech committed earlier this month to MT. Kegley. An option to hand it off, and hitting Crochet as soon as he laid a couple of hands on that ball. It was, again, a big play for Cole Crossley, who's been the tackle getter on both the first two plays for the Mavericks. 2 plays, 2 tackles for Crossley. Crossley, one of those 2 seniors on that front line for the Mavericks. And what better way to show out here on homecoming night on your senior season. Kegley bringing Hall into motion. Hands it off. There is a flag as the running back gets dropped to the ground. Of Zane Blixt, as Blixt, the backup running back for this Squirrel squad, averaging about 4 yards per carry. Has 11 carries this year, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns for the backup running back. As they will say it's on the defense, and instead of 2nd and long, it's 2nd and much more manageable. 2nd and 8 coming the way of the visiting Squirrels. Play clock is now turned on as Kegley with Blixt in the backfield. Kegley hands it off to Blixt. Blixt tries to spin out of the crowded area, but he will be brought down and dropped by the mighty Mavericks. Mavericks everywhere defensively. There you see the back end of it. Nothing doing for the score running back in his sophomore season there for Blixt. That's going to bring up on the loss on the play, a loss of about 1.5. Make it 3rd and 9. 3 receivers out to the right. Kegley will look over to the right. He finds Holland, hauls it in, works near the first down marker, and he's got it. Easton Holland. This is that pass game you've got to keep an eye on for Central Cass. Kegley, again, has a completion percentage of 72%. I mean, that is quite impressive numbers there for the junior quarterback. Kegley, as a sophomore, had 26 passing touchdowns, so he did something right as a sophomore, and he's progressed really well here in his junior season. Kegley fires a quick pass, another one. Hauled in for the Squirrels, it's Blaze Cotton. near the first down marker. Mark him a yard short, but that's Kegley's favorite target on the season is Cotton. That's his 17th catch. He's got over 150 yards, average about 9 yards per catch, 50 yards per game for Cotton, who's got 2 touchdowns on the season. 9:15 remaining here in the first quarter. Coming on about a 3-minute drive on the opening drive for the visiting Squirrels. Kegley hands it off to Crochet. Crochet right up the gut. Will get right up to the first down marker, but will not get what he needs to cross it. Will be about a yard short, so give him about a yard and a half, but he's just half a yard short of moving them chains. That's going to bring up 3rd and a couple of inches for the Squirrels. The homecoming crowd getting loud here for the Mavericks defense. Kegley hands it off to Blix, makes a man miss, and that should be enough for a Squirrel first down. The Mavericks brought the pressure, but Blix does just enough to evade it. Evades the pressure and does enough to get that first down. Again, here on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay, as you see there, makes that first initial tackle or miss, and that just bought him enough time to pick up the yard he needed to move the chains and keep the drive alive in the Serve Pro red zone for the Squirrels. Now the handoff to Crochet. Crochet to the 10, the 5. He gets outside the numbers. He is in the end zone, but it is going to be a flag on the play for Crochet, and it looks like it's going to be on the Squirrels. So what would have been a touchdown run of about 14 yards for Crochet, it will be called on a penalty, and it's going to be moving backwards instead of putting 6 on the board for Central Cass. 8:31 remaining. They'll push Cotton all the way to the right side of the top of your screen. They fake the pitch one way. Quickly gets it out to Gazowski as he is dropped. A big time hit from Colby Fast Horse. There they go. They fake to the right. They go to the left. You can't fool Fast Horse there. There's the flex and the celebration. From the senior linebacker of Colby Fast Horse, that's his 15th tackle and his 5th tackle for a loss. He leads the team in tackle for TFL, so there you go for the linebacker. Kegley starting to feel the pressure, evading to the right. We'll just sling a pass out to Crochet. It's hauled in by the running back. He hits the Jets, gets to the initial line of scrimmage, but another flag in the backfield, and it's another one on Central Cass. So a really good drive to this point for the Squirrels, but it has now, once they got to the Serve Pro red zone, starting to be bogged down by some yellow laundry on the field. With 7:44 remaining in quarter number 1, still stalemated here between the cross-state foes. Again, to get the first down, you got to get all the way to about the 3.5-yard line. And with everything getting pushed back, they're now at the 34. So almost 30 yards. They're going to say 2nd and 27 to be exact. As Kegley, that pocket awareness, he'll move his wide receiver out. Fakes the handoff to Crochet. Dumps it out to Gazowski. Makes a man miss. He'll be wrapped up on the play. Carver Gazowski with another reception. Mason Olson was going to be that last starting receiver, but was not able to play today, and that has opened the spot for Carver Gazowski to try to carve his way into some more reps, and has caught, I believe, 2 passes already, his first 2 catches on the season, so not bad there Got to make the most of every opportunity. That's what the sophomore receiver's doing. Cagley looking to pass, works to his right, sheds a tackle, slings it to Crochet to the 20, dropped at the 16. Crochet's been fun to watch, but he's ran down by Paxton Leeson. But a 3rd and forever now, a 4th and about 13. So cut it in half. And now they're going to elect to, I believe, they're going to try to kick the field goal here. So Cotton will be the holder. Number 39, Matthew Bacow is your kicker. Bacow with the kick. It's a low driver there, going to go underneath the goalpost. And it's going to keep the score knotted up at 0 as you see the kick from Bacow. Just a line drive of a shot. Does not quite have the height. And the penalty markers for Central Cass just put them behind the 8 ball there and kept on pushing them backwards on a productive drive there for the Squirrels, but bogged down by those penalties and allowed Dickinson's defense to get a couple of tackle for losses, take advantage of the situation, and keep their opponents off the board for now. As Dickinson hits their first drive, 6:22, so almost a 6-minute drive to start the game for the Squirrels. Stevenson hands it off to Turner. He bounces off of a blocker. Now he'll power his way for a first down. Wyatt Turner. Let's see this. Just runs into his own teammate, bounces off, and he's just going to continue to keep those legs churning for a big-time play. Wyatt Turner last week had 2 touchdowns, but it was a week that he was contained, had 7 carries for only 10 yards. Both the touchdowns were both under 3 yards. Seeing if he can try to get some big chunk plays on the ground for this Dickinson team that is trying to find that run game. I know statistically, you look at the statistics for Dickinson's offense, and for yardage-wise, 123 rushing yards per game isn't bad. By no means, that's pretty solid, but a lot of that comes from the quarterback, Nate Stevenson. So you want to get these running backs involved and in that game plan on the ground and seeing if they can have that run game, set up that pass game with some explosive wide receivers. We talked about a lot during the pregame show. Stevenson will now try to sling it to one of those receivers of Leeson as Leeson bobbles the ball, but it was thrown behind him. So that would be a fumble and a live ball, but the one ref comes in, says it was fumbled. The other one going to say it was incomplete. We'll wait and see the official ruling. They'll say incomplete. Paxton Leeson last year had 19 catches for 267 yards and 2 touchdowns. In 3 games this season, he has basically put up exactly what he had in the entire year last year. 17 catches this year, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns for Leeson as he leads that dynamic pass, that receiving game with Caleb Polans as well as Dylan Glazer, all over 100 yards receiving on the year. They'll bring Leeson into motion. Fake the handoff to him. Stevenson going to keep it himself. A flag thrown behind the play, and very well could be another holding call on the Mavericks. So both teams having their fair share of penalty flags on their offensive side. But the head coach, Tommy Butler, going to decline it. They say, hey, we like where our defense is. Instead of making it 2nd and 20, let's make it 3rd and we'll be okay with playing around 3rd and 15. So that's where it will be, around 3rd and 13, 15 yards here for the Mavericks. Shane Ciani now checks in. Last home game, he had a big day. That's where a bulk of his receiving yards in the season came from. Stevenson drops to pass. He finds Polans near the first down marker. It is right on the exact yard, and they're going to give it to him. Caleb Polans pulls it in, as you see, right at the marker. The ref came running in, and he said, yep, let's give it to him. Move the chains on Polans' 7th catch of the season. with all the top-end receivers here for this Dickinson team. I mean, sometimes it just creates so much matchup problems as Turner shakes a tackler. He powers his way for about a gain of 2 on the play. Some big blocking up front. Colton Brown got to the next level and laid out a squirrel. And that was probably about 8 yards away from where the running back got tackled. So just in case Turner could have shook loose, Brown sealed it for him. Sealed that entire edge off. On a 2nd and 8, 4:28 remaining in quarter number 1, and a stalemate here on DHS Homecoming as they near midfield on their first offensive possession. Stevenson faces some pressure. He'll skedaddle out of there. He gets a first down, works to the 40 as he's chopped at around the 38-yard line. A big run for Nate Stevenson. He's their quarterback, but he's also their leading rusher on the year, coming into the day with 242 rushing yards. Well, already going to be on pace to break probably 300 on the season at the end of the night, especially with that big run there. Flips the field, and now into Central Cass territory is the Mavs. Stevenson hands it off to Turner. He goes right up the gut. Picking up a gain of, give it around 4 on the play. And that's what you want to do. You just, hey, pick up those 3 yards, pick up those 4 yards on the ground, and it allows you to, hey, in third down situation when you're 3rd and 5, then they got to respect the run as well, but then it makes the targets, your receivers, more dangerous as well, because then they don't know if it's going to be a pass or a run game. We'll hand it off. Turner makes one-man miss. He's going to lunge for an extra yard or 2. Now just going to bring up a 2nd and about 2 coming up, or 3rd and 2 coming up for the Mavericks. There you see the shift on the D-line. They knew the run was coming, but still couldn't stop Turner there. You see him diving at the end, saying, hey, I want that extra yard. Bringing to the Mavericks right at the 30-yard line. 2:40 remaining in quarter number 1. Stevenson barking signals back to Turner. Turner points back to Stevenson. Pressure coming on Central Cass. They hand it off to Turner as he will turn it in for a Maverick first down. The run game looking efficient. You got to tip the hat off to the big men up front, paving the way for Turner once again. Exactly what first-year head coach Dawson McLaughlin wants to see. Trying to get his first home win as the head coach. Their win on the season came in the Wilson Basin area against the Coyotes in week 2. Now they're on the road in week 2 and week 3, so it's been a couple weeks since these Maverick fans have seen their team play. Fake the handoff to Pollins. Stevenson with the keeper puts the hand on the turf to stay upright. And will pick up a gain of 9 on the play. Relentless. Great awareness play there to just put the hand down there. You see almost tripped up by Aiden Thummel, but somehow stays upright, does not get a knee to touch, and says, hey, let's move it on up for a gain of, they'll say, 8 on the play. Time can ticking down. Again, it was a drive of almost 6 minutes for Central Cass when they had the ball. And Dickinson's almost replicated that as they're now into the Serve Pro red zone. They bring in Ciani in motion. Looking to throw in the end zone. Stevenson to Leeson at the 1. Big time connection. Draws the Mavericks to the Serve Pro red zone, and it'll bring up 1st and goal. There's Ciani in motion. Stevenson, plenty of time. He saw Leeson flash on the top of your screen, and he found him at the 1-yard line. Student section say they want 6. They want a touchdown on the board here on homecoming night. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Turner the lone back. They'll hand it off to Turner. And Wyatt Turner in for 6. His 5th touchdown on the season for the Maverick running back. Here it is on the Ryan Family Dealership. Instant replay. That inside, the interior of the line just got a great push, opens up the gap. And Braun boots in the extra point. Dickinson on homecoming strikes first, about a 6-minute drive the other way for the Mavericks, who lead 7-0 with 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter when we return on the PSP Network.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
Welcome back into the PSP Network. Dickinson high on the board first. The Mavericks with a 1-yard touchdown run for Wyatt Turner. Puts the Mavericks up first on homecoming night. Return bouncing out to the outside, then back to the inside, but the Mavericks going to make sure it's not as big as a return as last time. Couple of Mavericks there in on the tackle. As Central Cass setting up shop right around the 30-yard line. Both offenses brought the ball into the Serve Pro red zone on their first offensive drive. Central Cass brought it into the Serve Pro red zone, but penalty flags took them out of it. They tried a field goal, could not get it to go. Dickinson had their penalty flags early on in the drive, but they were able to keep that drive alive and turn it into 6. Some nice passes there for Stevenson, some good runs from Turner, and Turner cashed in a 1-yard touchdown run. Handoff off the middle, give him a yard on the carry. 25 seconds left in quarter number 1, as Central Cass would not have to play another play here in the opening frame if they don't want to. They could let this clock tick all the way into quarter number 2. But Kegley at least going to show that the Squirrels might take this snap. And they will. Quick pass out to the outside. It's caught by Cotton, who breaks a tackle and tight ropes for a first down. So, hey, the art of surprise. Are they going to snap it? Are they not? It turns into a first down as time expires in quarter number 1. As Cotton and the Squirrels will have the ball on first down when they return in the second quarter right here on the PSP Network.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
Throwing some beads and some black and orange here for DHS Maverick homecoming as we get ready for quarter number 2 on homecoming night, as the Mavericks lead by a touchdown against the visiting Central Cass Squirrels. It was a fun first quarter. Both teams taking up near 6 minutes on both of their offensive possessions, so making a pretty quick moving first quarter. And now the second quarter, and the final play of the opening quarter was a nice little quick completion from Kegley to Cotton that turns into a nice play there for Blaze Cotton. Now they'll quickly try to get it out to the opposite side. It is hauled in, and making a man miss is Kellen Crochet. as he will haul it in for a gain of 6. So you got Colton Crochet, who's made some big plays in the first quarter. Now it's the younger Crochet, the freshman, and that's his 10th catch on the season. And they give him around 6 yards. That's going to be now 90 yards for him receiving for the freshman. So it's big to get those younger kids involved and in there in the game because, hey, you got them for another 3 years after this season. They'll hand it off to Blixt. He navigates his way through the gap. He picks up the first down before being dropped by Colby Fasthorse at the 30. As Zane Blixt with a big run to bring it into DHS territory for the Squirrels. If Blixt can get it going this season, then you got a two-headed monster back there in the backfield. They'll sling a pass in, and Blaze Cotton with another reception. He's really feeling it again. The top target on this team right there, 15 in the white and red. 10-yard pitch and catch. Moves the chains again as we enter into the Serve Pro Red Zone. 24/7 emergency service. Trained technicians, advanced technology, fire and water, cleanup and restoration. It's Serve Pro. Kegley's got 3 receivers to the left. He'll hand it off to Blixt, who races to the right side as he is hit by Pullins. As Blixt gets to about the 16-yard line. Again, Blixt came to the day, the sophomore, 42 yards on the ground. And in the first half alone, he might have doubled of what he had in the first couple of games on the season here tonight in Dickinson. A very solid performance. Now they got Kenny Navicki out there. Navicki blocked for his quarterback, who sends it off to Callan Crochet. Cuts inside, but he's wrapped up by Dylan Glauser, who might have just made a touchdown-saving tackle for the Mavericks. Crochet tried to cut inside, but got caught by Glauser, who brings him down, but it is 1st and goal. Kenny Navicki now. Again, he's that third running back. He's got about 38 yards on the ground and a score this year for Central Cass. Couple clapping going on there for Kegley, and it's going to be bringing up a flag on the play. It looks like someone jumped early. False start on the offense. That will get a little bit of a roar there for the DHS faithful. Good attendance tonight. Also, a lot of red as well. Quite a bit of Squirrel fans making the trip from the opposite side of the state. Navicki going to get a carry as he's going to power his way inside the 5. He's not going down without a fight. Ball comes loose at the end of the play, but it looks like it is whistled before any more chaos prevails. Let's take a look on the Ryan family dealership. Instant replay. Navicki won't go down, and he got some help. Pushing the way is Evan Wiersma. Wiersma, one of those offensive linemen that's committed to play at the next level. He's going to Minnesota State Moorhead next year. I mean, it's almost not fair. You got Wiersma on the left side, who's going to Moorhead State. Minnesota Moorhead State. And then on the right side, you got a guy that's going to UND and Wunderlich. They're going to run to Wunderlich's side on the right, but not finding his way into the end zone is Navicki as DHS keeps him out once more, bringing up 3rd and goal at the 2. 9:18 remaining in the second quarter. Just long drives for these two teams here early on as they'll now bring back in Colton Crochet. Seeing if he can punch it in. Crochet, they'll fake it to him. They'll lob a pass, and it's caught for 6 from Blaze Cotton as Kegley goes back to his favorite target. A touchdown in there for the Central Cass Squirrels. Look at Kegley face some pressure, sits in, delivers a strike in for the touchdown. And that's his 3rd touchdown connection on the season with Blaze Cotton. They got the 6. They'll see if they can take on the extra point. Bacall sends it through to even this one up. It is 7-7 in quarter number 2, 8:59 remaining before the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. As we'll take a break as Dickinson High getting the ball back when we return. Central McLean fans, or Central Lacasse fans in the area, making the long road trip to support their Squirrels as the Squirrels on the board. 7-7 after a touchdown reception, as we'll see it on your screen. Now here it is, 2-yard reception from Brody Cagley to Blaze Cotton for 6. And now Bacall, who evened this game up with his extra point, ready to boot it away. 8:59 remaining in the second quarter. He'll play it in the direction of Polans. Goes through Polans' fingers as he'll pick it up at the 5. He works to the far side of the field, seeing if he can hit the Jets. Trying to get around to the numbers. Now he moves up the field to the 20-yard line. A late flag coming in as well. Almost a near disaster situation. Polans makes the best of it. Went through his fingers. He picked it up around the 5 and turns it into at least the 19-20-yard line. Flag on the play, right where Polans got hit. It was a blindside block on Dickinson High. So Polans picked it up at the 5. He brought it to the 20 on a 15-yard run. The penalty will bring it half the distance to the goal, so they'll set up shop at the 10. So at the 10-yard line is where they will set up shop for Dickinson. They'll hand it off to Turner. Stiff arms a couple defenders, almost trying to duck away there from some contact. Squirrels all over him. It's Cotton, the one to bring him down for a gain of 4. What a game Blaze Cotton's having right now, the sophomore. He's such a valued member of that offense. 3 touchdowns. Almost now probably around 200 yards on the season with what he put in that last drive. He's got over 15 tackles defensively as well. He can do it on both sides of the ball. Number 15 in the white and red. 2nd and 6. Hand off to Turner. He goes right up the middle, and he is dropped. As soon as he picks that ball up, it's Evan Wiersma with another tackle. He had 4 TFLs last year, 40 tackles on the defense there, number 74. His teammate got the initial contact, and he was able to turn around and throw Turner to the turf. Stevenson gets the message. He'll relay it into the huddle. Time ticking down, 15 on the play clock, 7:40 on the game clock. Before halftime, and the stalemated game, 7-7. 2 receivers the opposite sides. They'll bring in Ciani to motion. They fake the handoff to Ciani. He'll be a quarterback keeper for Stevenson, who goes up the gun, and he'll pick up a first down for the junior quarterback. There's a little celly there. He points exactly where that one is going. Look at there, Ciani able to open up that middle of the defense on that jet sweep. They fake it to him, and the quarterback with the keeper. Stevenson's so dangerous because not only is he good at throwing the ball, he is that dual threat that can pick up yards with his legs. 1st and 10 now. Picking up that first down. They'll bring Ciani back into motion. He'll go up left to right. Stevenson drops back to pass. Faces some pressure, works to his left. Now he's just going to tuck it and run. Picks up a couple on the play before being met by Zane Blixt. 6:43 remaining here in quarter number 2. And Dickinson started this drive at the 10-yard line. Now sitting at the 27. 2nd and 7. Both teams taking their time on the offense. Some long drives. Both teams have only touched the ball twice, and we're halfway through quarter number 2. Stevenson. Plenty of time to throw. He's got a receiver open. It's Glauser who hauls it in to the 30, the 10. Touchdown, Dylan Glauser. A big strike from Nate Stevenson to Glauser. There you see him there to sling the rock, 70-plus yard touchdown. No Squirrels going to catch Glauser there. Holland tried, but could not quite catch up. Comes at the mark of 6:02 in the second quarter. Braun's kick is good. Count it. 70-yard touchdown strike for the home team. Mavericks, they lead 14-7 as we head on over to a commercial break. And when we come back, Central Cass seeing if they can try to even up the scoreboard.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Dickinson High has taken the lead after a 70-plus yard touchdown strike from Nate Stevenson to Dylan Glauser. Glauser ends up beating his defender, gets open. Stevenson puts it right on the money. And Glauser turns it in for a touchdown, puts the Mavericks on the lead as the kick going to go out of play, and that's going to bring up a flag. So we'll get some extra added yardage for the Squirrels, where they will set up shop to start their third drive with 6:02 remaining. Both these two offenses moving the ball extremely well. Mavericks 2 for 2 on their drives, ending with both touchdowns. Central Cass 1 for 2. Their first drive ended in a field goal try that just was below the crossbar. And that kept it at the point 0-0 and has allowed the Mavericks to keep on playing with the lead, 14-7. Kegley faces pressure as Crochet buys him enough time as the quarterback planted to the turf. Could not quite escape Easton Blower there. Look at Blower. Quickly on your screen, Kegley just tried to spike that one as he saw Blower cut through the middle. Good awareness play, though, not to take the sack, spike it down, and bring up 2nd and 10 rather than about 2nd and 15, which probably would have been. Lots of movement as the center gets pushed down. I think it's going to be encroachment on the defense. And yes, it is. It's going to be encroachment on Jacob Britton, the junior defensive lineman. Free 5 yards for the Squirrels. You know, Tommy Butler and the Squirrels are going to take that every day of the week. 2nd and 5 opens up their playbook. Extremely wide open. Low snap. Just going to be shoved into Crochet's lap. And he won't go much. He won't go far. He'll actually be tackled for a loss on the play. Devin Height, the one to wrap him up. As Britton comes racing off. They'll take Britton out. They'll bring in Cole Crossley, who started this game on fire with a couple of tackles. I think he had the first 2 tackles recorded for the Mavericks. He'll put him in at 3rd and 6, trying to stop the Squirrels from moving down the field. Kegley drops back to pass. Slings one, finds Cotton. No! In and out of the hands of Cotton, and that is one of those things you hear a lot on football broadcasts. The receiver thought what he was going to do after he had the ball and just did not haul that one in. You get those big eyes of, oh my gosh, I'm wide open. I can take this one for a big-time reception, but the big thing is you got to haul it in there first. An unorthodox drop from the Squirrels' top receiver. You will not see him make that drop very often. As Cotton boots it away, calling for a fair catch is Polans. As it drops down, I'm not even sure if it hit a squirrel or whatnot, but Polans does jump on top of it. And hey, nothing to worry about there. I think Polans is talking there of maybe the squirrel got into him or got into the ball, but either way, no harm done there for the Mavericks. 5:11 remaining in the second quarter, and both teams had some long drives. This was the first drive that was probably under about 4 or 5 minutes. First drive that did not cross midfield for either team or get in to the Serve Pro red zone. So the Mavericks can get a long drive and maybe put points up on the board. That could be huge before halftime. They'll hand it off, but a quick flag jetted in from behind, holding on the offense. Going to negate the 3-yard run for the Mavs. Shane Siani checks in. He'll check in the contest back in for Colby Fasthorse. They'll move him back 10 on the play, so 1st and 20. Might have been a couple different flags on there as Stevenson, though, he can't count him out. He already had a 70-plus yard touchdown throw. If he could do it again. He's showing he has the arm. He definitely has the weapons with his receivers to do so. They'll option in Leeson in the motion. Now they'll sling it to Leeson on the near side, trying to get outside the numbers as he is dropped with Cotton and Link in the area for that Central Cass defensive secondary. Even if Dickinson doesn't pick up a first down on this drive, big thing that's working for them is, hey, take your time. You don't need to rush anything. You're leading this game. Time's ticking down, 4:15 remaining before halftime. Do whatever you can to keep that lead before half if you're Dawson McLaughlin. Stevenson to Turner. High points that one as he is getting wrestled to the ground. He fights for every added yard, does Turner. Take what the defense gives you. The little check down play there. He's hit by the 30-yard line, but he will continue to fight for an extra about 3 yards. And that's just ever so crucial. Make it now 3rd and 15. With time working down about 3.5 minutes now. Stevenson faces pressure, delivers a strike and a big slam by Cotton as Leeson almost basically bodied slammed on the play by Blaze Cotton. Here you see it on your screen. Cotton catches him and slams him to the turf. Monday Night Raw style there for Cotton. Hey, whatever works to get your opponent down, and Cotton, he was not going to make sure that number 1 in the black and orange was going to get away from him, that's for sure. Approaching 3 minutes left, but it looks like potential timeout going to be taken, and yes, indeed, timeout for the Squirrels. They want the ball back with as much time as possible. 3:14 remaining in the second quarter. Squirrels looking to get the ball back on 4th down. It looks like a punt coming our way when we return on the PSP Network.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it.
Drop it.
We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's
4th down, and here's the play that led to that 4th down. Stevenson passes it out to Leeson, who is body slammed by Blaze Cotton. And now the Mavericks forced a punt, a booming punt there for the Mavericks. Ball hits at the 32. We'll have a friendly Dickinson roll. It continues to roll over to the 22-yard line, so an extra 10 yards. A friendly little roll there will pin Central Cass to their own 22-yard line, who's now on a 3-minute drill to try to put some points on the board and maybe even tie this ball game up before we head to our Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. Coming your way in around 3 minutes of game time. The offenses were on full display early on, but now the defenses both making stands on back-to-back drives. Kegley sending out Crochet into motion. Now he'll lob a pass to Holland. Almost one hands of play there. Oh, if he could hold that one in, that would have been an ESPN everywhere there. Almost a kind of Odell Beckham Jr. style. Reach the arm behind you, see if you can haul it in, and you've seen some really nice effort for both these two teams, fighting for every extra yard, just trying to make that play. And again, this is a game that's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, overall record-wise, but in the path to the playoffs, it's only conference games that matter. But this is the last non-region game. Everything else matters after this, as Crochet going to pick up 12 yards on the carry, move the marker for the senior running back. Works that left side of the line. Great work setting out that edge there for that offensive group. To play Crochet to the right, dropping back to pass. Kegley finds his receiver, a 12-yard connection with Carver Kozowski. Move the chains on back-to-back first down plays. That's the first 20 seconds of this drive, and exactly what head coach Tommy Butler wanted to see out of his Squirrels. 20 seconds down, over 20 yards already picked up. Kegley slings on a pass. Hauled in by Kellen Crochet for a gain of 4. Brody Kegley has just so much pocket presence. When you have a junior quarterback completing 72% of his passes, just makes your life so much easier as a head coach there for Tommy Butler. You know you can trust him. He'll hand it off over to Crochet. He makes one man miss as he is dragged down on the play. Tackle comes in from Caden Shetter. However, there might be flags on both teams here. The first flag was behind the line when he got the handoff, so probably a holding. The second one is when he got brought down by Cheddar. So yes, there's the holding on the Squirrels. And no, it's going to just be the holding on the Squirrels. So I thought there was going to be a second call there potentially. Maybe there was, but since there was already one holding, didn't matter about that second one, but there was a flag that came in a few seconds after that first flag came in. 2:22 now remaining, and again, kind of like that first drive for the Squirrels today where they drove all the way to the Serve Pro red zone, and then it was flags that brought them back. Try not to stall what was a great start to this drive on two big plays. Pick up two early first downs in this drive for the Squirrels, and another flag coming out. This one, though, will be on DHS. So kind of wipes away that initial call on the Squirrels, and they're right back at shop where they were. Setting up for about a 2nd and 12. Ball at the 45. Kegley low snap. Plays one out, hauled on by Cotton. He crosses midfield. He's going to pick up a first down and then some for Blaze Cotton. That B to B connection, Brody to Blaze. It's been a big one all season, and it's a big one tonight. Ball at the 41 as they're into Maverick territory with 2:12 in the first half. Kegley back, trying to go back to Cotton, overthrew him over the head of his intended target, the sophomore receiver. They try to double up. Hey, might as well go back to him. He's already having a big day at the office. Ken Cotton came today around 16 catches. I believe he's probably caught 4, so he's probably over 20 receptions this year. And not even 4 complete games, so hey, that's pretty solid. Kegley just taking what the defense gives him right in the middle. To Carver Kozowski as he's brought down by Cheddar. And a 3rd down with 2 minutes remaining before halftime. Starting to get a little bit of a roar here at the Bijou Activity Center. Kegley, quick pass. It's hauled in by Holland. He'll stiff arm a defender to the 20. He lowers the shoulder as he is pushed out of bounds at the 17-yard line for Easton Holland. So not only picks up a first down for Central Cass, they enter the Serve Pro Red Zone 24/7 emergency service, trained technicians, advanced technology, fire and water cleanup and restoration. It's Serve Pro. Kegley hands it off to Crochet. Follows the blocker, tries to bounce outside the numbers as he is brought down from behind. A flag is thrown, could be a horse collar tackle, as he went down back first. We'll wait on the official ruling. Yes, it is. Horse collar tackle on the defense, and that is going to really benefit the Squirrels now, as put the markers down, because it has now brought them into 1st and goal territory. 1st and goal for the Squirrels that trail by a touchdown, 1:38 remaining in the first half. As 1st and goal coming up when we return on the PSP Network.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it.
Drop it.
We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Today's game brought to you by Minot State. The best way to predict your future is to grade it with over 100 areas of study at Minot State. You'll earn the degree of your desire, with more than 96% of recent Minot State grads employed or continuing their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University. Be seen, be heard, be you. 1st and goal coming up on the way is Central Cass, who trails by a touchdown here in the 2nd quarter. But they got to wait for the timeout time to run off the clock. And now we are ready to go. Minute 38 remaining in the first half. Central Cass trying to even this thing up before halftime. Zane Blixt, the running back. They'll hand it off to Blixt. He races to the outside, but he is dropped by Colby Fast Horse. Fast Horse able to win the race on the outside of the numbers. Great job there. There you see him chasing him down, keeping him out of the end zone. They'll switch running backs now to Kenny Nowicki. Moving in Kellen Crochet in a motion. Nowicki getting the ball as he powers his way near the 1, ball on the ground, and DHS comes up with it. A fumble at the 1-yard line. Nowicki was battling for everything he could, but it's Caden Shetter that comes away with the fumble. A big-time stop defensively to stay up by a touchdown. There it is, brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships for 50 years. Ryan has been a trusted name for their car buyers in western North Dakota. Shop their entire inventory at driveryan.com. Visit one of their 5 locations in Minot and Williston. Forced fumble, they get it at the 2-yard line. Oh, that was a big play, but now for Dickinson, you got to get out of the shadow of your own goalpost. Sometimes easier said than done. As they'll hand it off to Turner, he'll pick up, give him 2 yards on the carry. So he gets out to around the 4. And that's where you just got to take your time, and I think Dawson McLaughlin's going to say, hey, we're just going to let this time run out. We're going to go up at half, 14-7. Got a couple of extra yards right at the 4-yard line. They'll play one more play, and that's probably going to do it for the first 2 quarters of this ballgame. With a touchdown saving play by Cheddar. Turner bounced the outside, cuts in. He'll be dropped at the 11, and that is probably going to do it for the first half. Dickinson High leading 14-7. Their players already running towards the tunnels, and there it is, official. There's the players on the field starting to exit as the time hits triple zeros. The defense comes up with a touchdown saving play, and it's a touchdown saving play that keeps the Mavericks on top as we enter the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. Mavericks 14, Central Cass 7.
At Schatz Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Schatz Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of Finrun Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Take a look at that on the Charbonneau Car Center. Halftime show opening shot. The M for the Mighty Mavericks. They're on the band here on homecoming. A great attendance here tonight, and the Mighty Mavs lead at halftime 14-7 against the visiting Central Cass Squirrels. Charbonneau Car Center brings you tonight's halftime show. At Charbonneau Car Center, they know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, and Williston, North Dakota, as well as Glendive, Montana. Work hard, play hard, and need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, you can stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. You can visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. An exciting first half of football, to say the least. Two teams that had some very long drives to get going. It was about a 5.5-minute first drive on the way for Central Cass. They missed a field goal. And then it was about a 5.5-minute, 6-minute drive for Dickinson, where they end up getting a touchdown at that point with 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It was Wyatt Turner to punch it in at the 1-yard line, followed up by another long Central Cass drive of going over 3-4 minutes. Ends with their quarterback of Kegley finding Blaze Cotton on a 2-yard reception, 7-7. Few minutes later, though, Nate Stevenson shows his arm and found Dylan Glauser for a 70-plus yard pitch and catch, and Glauser showed his speed. No one could catch him on the 70-yard touchdown to go up 14-7. Central Cass would get the ball back with just over 3 minutes remaining, started to march their way down the field, and it was very efficient there for Central Cass. They would work it all the way down to the 2-yard line. They handed off to Kenny Nowicki, and Nowicki tried to fight for that extra yard to get closer to the goal line, maybe even try to get in, but a ball was popped out. Caden Cheddar jumps on top of it. He was in the mix of forcing the fumble. He extends that arm on the bottom of the pile, hauls in the ball, and that touchdown saving play happened in the final minute of the first half. Keeps it 14-7, keeps the Mavericks up on homecoming, and they're up by a touchdown halfway through the contest. It's going to be interesting how the second half is going to look between these two squads, because the first half, the offenses have been on full display, yet it's only 14-7. I mean, the defenses have made big plays when they've needed to, and right now, that defensive play was the big one of keeping a touchdown off the scoreboard for that Maverick defense. as they will give that juice on over for Dickinson. Dickinson's offense, who will have the ball to start the third quarter. So not only do you save a touchdown and keep up in this game, you also will start the second half with the football for the Mighty Mavericks. For Central Cass, what do you got to do for that second half? And for them, it's really just get execution. I mean, they're doing everything right. They're executing their plays right, but right now just only have 7 points to show for it. You had a missed field goal in the first drive and then a fumble at the 2-yard line. If those two things go right for Central Cass, this game could very well be 17-14 at halftime, but instead it's 14-7. Dickinson, and for Dickinson right now, both these two teams really, you're seeing a great balance between the pass and the run game. And you don't see that very often. Sometimes you'll see a very run-heavy team or a pass-heavy team. But for these two teams, they're doing a really good job of mixing in both sides of that game. You're seeing Wyatt Turner get some really good carries, as well as Nate Stevenson with those quarterback keepers for Dickinson on the ground game. Through the passing game, Glauser, Leeson, Polans, they've all been factors. For Central Cass, again, Kegley, he's kind of that pocket passer quarterback. He's been getting that run game going with his running backs of Cruchet, Blixt, and Novicki. He's got his receivers, Cotton, that he's found quite often. And so these are teams that have plenty of weapons to provide a lot of fireworks. Again, this game could very well be 17-14, but right now it's 14-7. And I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game for how productive these offenses have been. But the defenses have been able to keep points off the scoreboard thus far, especially with the big thing of it's been just long drives. Both teams having around a two 5-minute drives, 3, 4, 5-minute drives there in the first half. More to come on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. When we come back, we're going to be taking a check-in at scores across the state, so stay tuned for that.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So
hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved.
Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
It's time for this week's PSP Network Player Performance of the Week. Powered by the Aggie Foundation and Mountain State University. Congratulations to this week's nominees on Big Time Games. The votes are in. And this week's Player Performance of the Week belongs to Make sure to like and follow the PSP Network on all social media platforms. And watch for next week's PSP Network Player Performance of the Week, powered by the Aggie Foundation and Mountain State University. PSP Network, it's game day.
The Aggie Foundation is a 501c3. Our mission is to really help out the communities that allow us in for charitable gaming.
We are so thankful for Aggie Foundation for giving us the $2,500.
I can't thank the Aggie Foundation enough for what they've done.
Aggie Foundation has been just a great partner for our community.
Some of these programs wouldn't be able to continue on without funding from programs like this.
We're always looking for new partners, new communities to be in. If we can make an impact in that community, we will.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Homecoming night, there's a big crowd showing there for the Mavericks, who lead 14-7 on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show here at the Bijou Activity Center. We recap that first half, lots of exciting moments, but now we get ready to talk about scores across the state. And, hey, this is 2A football. Let's talk about the final non-region week in 2A football first. Grand Forks Central leads over Watford City. Number 3 versus receiving votes, 27-6. Bismarck St. Mary's looking for their first win on the season against Wahpeton, 21-14 at the third. Devils Lake, who's one spot above Central Cass in the state at number 4, 22-7. They lead over Fargo South. Minot North looking to stay undefeated and stay that top team in the state in AA, 21-7 against receiving votes Fargo North. Kindred defeated Jamestown in big fashion tonight. Kindred, the number 2 ranked team, and also the last year's runner-ups in single A, 49-6 over the Blue Jays. And Grand Forks Red River piloted on Williston 49-12 in the fourth quarter. AAA ball, we've got this game for you on the PSP Network as well. Bismarck Century taking on West Fargo. That one 22-0, and the two teams receiving votes. Bismarck Legacy leads over West Fargo Horace 13-7 after Bismarck Legacy is the new number 1 team after defeating Fargo Davies last week. We were there for that one. It was absolute fireworks as Legacy trailed by 14 in that first quarter and came back against the number 1 team at the time. Now Legacy, that top team, they're trying to stay that way, up 13-7 over the defending 2A champs West Fargo Horace. West Fargo Cheyenne leads over Mandan 27-14. Fargo Davies, who was number 1 last week, they lead over Bismarck this week 21-7, nearing half. The Minot Magicians, the Magi, they've had a tough start of the year. They have been held winless, but right now are defeating a team that has not lost, an undefeated team. So there you go, a winless Magi team up over undefeated Shanley team, 27-20 at the half. What a big win if they could hold on for Minot against the number 2 Deacons. So those are your score updates there for 2A and 3A. Now let's start working down to single A. Number 1, Langdon area Edmore Munich leads over Rugby 21-6. Belvedere Canamoose Garrison leads over Lac Burlington 14-6. The Aggies are ranked number 2, and they're taking on undefeated DLB 14-6 there at the half. And that one also covered on the PSP Network. I believe Jonas Nelson over there on the call for that one. Number 4, Park River area leads over Carrington 18-8 in the fourth. Number 5, Allendale Edgeley Calm over Sargent County 28-zip. Other teams in the receiving votes, Botno over South Prairie Max 41-0. Central McLean right now en route to give Southern McLean their first loss on the season, a big Region 4 bout, 26-6. We have covered that Region 4 in single A this year, and it's been that's been a really fun region. We covered that last night where Trinity defeated Hart River. Killdeer also in Region 4 leads over Shiloh Christian 34-14. Beulah up big over Hazen 40-0 at the half. Some 9-man games. We'll take a look at the teams that are ranked. Number 5, Alexander leads 32-0 over Towner Granville Upham at the half. Number 3, Linton HMB narrowly over a very good Napoleon Gackle Streeter team at the half, 16-12. It's all number 2, Lemoore Litchfield Marion over number 4, Hankinson, 42-12. Both those two teams undefeated, but the Pirates right now seeing if they can try to right that ship before getting handed their first loss on the year. Number 1, New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock taking on North Prairie. That's a big rivalry game over there, the north central part of the state, 40-22 for the Rockets, and that's just halftime, so that's an explosive game on the offense. And there you go, there's all your teams receiving or in your top 5 for all of your divisions, and a couple other scores from across the state. Again, lots of great action coming your way here tonight. There on UC Bones Barbecue Sauce brings you a check-in on the PSP Network. Friday night football slate, Minot High again leading over Shanley. A winless Magician team versus a undefeated Shanley Deacon squad. And that one again at halftime. Keep an eye on that one. West Fargo versus Century. Two teams receiving votes. Again, we got Fargo North, Minot North right here. Dickinson and Central Cass and Belvedere Canamoose Garrison, last year's defending single A champs, taking on an unbeaten the Lac Burlington squad. It's a close one there as well. Another loaded slate on the PSP Network, 14-7 right now at halftime. As you take a look at the 2A standings, and this is, again, the week before the games really start to matter. As you see in the blue, all the blue numbers are 0 and 0. Those are the ones that is going to determine who is in the playoffs and who isn't. and that part of the season starts next week. So right here, it's all about fine-tuning, getting on the same page, because after that, it is crunch time on the path to the playoffs. For Dickinson, after tonight, they will start WDA play against Watford City right here in the Queen City next week. And for Central Cass, they will start their region slate against Wahpeton at home there for the Squirrels. Let's take a break on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. And the second half starting to near when we return on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
Homecoming festivities wrapping up here at Fisher Field as Dickinson High leads 14-7. They might as well celebrate your homecoming here on halftime. All the fun festivities are all wrapped up, so let's take a look at, again, a speed run of how that first half went. It was Dickinson scoring first after Central Cass missed a field goal on their first drive. Dickinson would drive down the field, and Wyatt Turner would punch it in on a 1-yard touchdown run with 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter to make it 7-0. But Kegley and the Squirrels would answer right back as Kegley finds Blaze Cotton for a 2-yard touchdown pitch and catch, evening up 7-7. Ensuing drive doesn't take long for the Mavericks to answer back. 70-plus yard touchdown strike from Nate Stevenson to Dylan Glauser. 14-7. Central Cass had a 3-minute drill. They work all the way down the field. They get to the 2-yard line. Novicki would not go down. He was fighting to get into the goal line. Instead, though, the ball is poked loose. Caden Cheddar jumps on top of it and that would close out the first half as the Mavericks stayed on top 14-7. Well, let's head on over to the second half of football here on a Friday night on the PSP Network. When we return, Dickinson leads over Central Cass 14-7.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
Second half action on our way here on Maverick Homecoming as the home team Dickinson High leads. Headed in to quarter number 3 where they will start with the ball 14-7. Bacau will boot it off left to right across your screen. Scooped up by Polens. Polens breaks loose to the 45, the 50, just needs to beat the kicker and does. The 20, the 10, and he returns it to the house. Caleb Polens. There's a way to get the second half kicked off with the Superman pose for number 3 in the black and orange. Polens takes it to the crib. Look at there, the back end of it. The kicker, Bacau, was the only player that was near him towards the end, but too much speed from Polens. You can't beat a kick return touchdown, and then even add to it, it's the first play of the second half. So there you go. There's a way to really start turning the momentum into the Maverick favor here on homecoming night as we head on over to our first break in the second half.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
A kick return for a touchdown for Caleb Polens. And the Dickinson High Mavericks. First play in the third quarter ends in 6 from the senior. Little bobble. Now Central Cassian, if they could come up with a big return themselves, as being brought down to the ground with a solid return there is Kellen Crochet. Today's game brought to you in part by Farstead Oil. Contact Farstead Oil today to find out their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, mobile lubricants, and DEF needs. Proudly serving North Dakota, Montana, and western Minnesota since 1938. Committed to outstanding customer service and reliability. It's Farstead Oil. 21-7 after the kick return for the touchdown. How does Central Cass answer back? It's going to be a quick pass to Cotton. Trying to work to the outside as he's immediately wrapped up, just me a gain of 1. Give him the gain of 1 on the play. And for Central Cass, I mean, obviously there's a lot of ball game left, and maybe it's not a must-score drive, but you got to have some positives coming up on this drive after being stopped at the 2-yard line defensively to close out the first half, and then give up a kick return for a touchdown to start the third quarter. You got to get that drive to go, get back in that success. This has been a really consistent Central Cass team, not only on the season but in this game, and they can put up points, that's for sure. Averaging 30 points per game are the Squirrels. But they're faced with a third down on their way. 3rd and 5 for the Squirrels. Crochet moves to his left. Empty package for Kegley. He's looking to throw, and he will. It's caught by Holland, who's wrestled down at the 41-yard line by Caden Cheddar. Again, it was Cheddar that came up with that fumble recovery at the 2-yard line to close out the second quarter. Here's the first tackle. Lots of confusion there for the Mavericks. No one was set on that defensive line. They'll hand it off to Crochet. Works to the 30. Pinballs off a couple of tacklers. He breaks loose. To the 15 is where he'll be brought down, but there is a flag on the play. It is coming back. A big run, though, for Crochet. I'm not sure how he went. Did not go down for Colton Crochet. And you know, Montana Tech, who he just committed to a couple of weeks ago, is smiling grin to grin for the running back they'll be getting in on their team for the next couple of years. And that will probably be playing right here at the BCU Activity Center as well in the years to come. Right in the new, was it Frontier Conference, I believe, is the new name. Dickinson State is a part of. Them, a couple of the North Dakota and Montana schools all in that conference. Dickinson State in action tomorrow against Carroll College here at the BCU Activity Center. Calvin Crochet, the intended target, it sails over his head. Great defense there by Caleb Bullens. Bullens with the kick return for the touchdown. And then, there you go, some great defense as well for number 3 in the black and orange. 10 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Ball just a yard away from midfield after the holding call just a couple snaps ago. Kegley hands it off to Blix. Follow the blocker. Great work there for Wiersma to open up that side as he will work his way to the right side and pick up a big gain to get back to the initial line of scrimmage at the 41. The Squirrels team on that offensive line, I mean, they probably get talked about a lot because you got Wiersma, you got Wunderlich, and they kind of just swap tackle spots. One's at the left and one's at the right. I believe Wiersma was the right tackle last play. Now he's the left tackle. They bring in Wunderlich's now the right tackle. As Wunderlich pulls, sets a big block. As fighting for a couple of extra yards, the gain of 3 on the ground for the Squirrels. Again, both those 2 tackles we talked about going to play at the next level. Wiersma, Minnesota State Moorhead. Wunderlich, number 75, going to be on over to UND next year. Don't get that very often. We get a lot of college commitments, but this Central Cass team, they've got quite a few. 2 on the offensive line. Kegley shuffles through in the pocket, delivers a strike, and it is hauled in by Blaze Cotton. Again, the B2B connection, Brody to Blaze, works out to perfection. Great pocket awareness there for Kegley. Just can't get over his accuracy. Again, 72% completion percentage. It's got to be towards the top of the state. As they'll empty the backfield. Crochet now off to a receiver. Kegley. Quick pass in and out of the hands of his intended target. He tried to go back to Cotton, but it sails through the mittens there to bring up 2nd and 10. They're sniffing the Serve Pro red zone. We'll see if they go back to the run or go back through the air. We'll have 3 receivers out to the right. Cotton, the lone one to the left. Said they'll hand it off to Crochet. He cuts back in. He is wrestled down. Will be hit for a loss on the play. Not able to get much out of that there. Aggressive defense out of the group for the Mavericks, forcing third down. They're going to make that a loss of 1 as well, so 3rd and 11. For Kegley and the Squirrels, ball at the 25-yard line. Kegley looks to throw. Last second does. It's behind his receiver of Kawasaki. And that one would not going to quite be hauled in as Carver. Kawasaki could not quite get that one. Tried to hit the back pedal, but just could not hit the brakes enough to get in position as that ball is just too far behind him. Kegley snaps the hands. 4th down, Squirrels going for it, and they got it. Kegley to haul in the helmet, comes up afterwards. He's pumped, but there is a flag on the play. Another great throw there for Kegley. Plenty of time to throw it. Finds Easton Holland for a 1st down for the Squirrels. 7:40 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They're trying to work it down to a single possession game. And they're going to say a hit to the head. And that's going to even bring in a couple yards closer. So Squirrels will have it 1st and goal at the 2. And you get 3-4 tries at it with that offensive line. We'll see what Tommy Butler draws up. It's going to be a handoff to Crochet. He's brought down right away. Colby Fast Horse in on the tackle. He's the one to just wrap him up on the ankle. Fast Horse has made some nice plays. There's another one that keeps Central Cass out of the end zone, maybe even moves them back a yard. Loss of 1. They go direct snap to Crochet. It's the Wildcat formation. He's stuffed at the 1-yard line. Multiple Mavericks out in front, but leading the charge there for him was Trevor Tolliver. Tolliver with that new jersey number 60 pushes him back and forces 3rd and 1. Kegley back as the quarterback. We're going to say it's the Wildcat for Crochet. They're going to try it again. Bounces off the tackler of height, and he is in the end zone for 6. The Squirrels have made the game a single possession game. They go back to Wildcat, to Crochet, and he punches it in. That is what you wanted to see if you were a Squirrels fan. Work it right back to a single possession ball game. Crochet on the Wildcat works out to perfection. And when you get the ball at the 3-yard line, have 4 tries at it, more often than not, you're going to punch it in with that offensive line that the Squirrels have. They'll go for 2. Kegley fakes the handoff to Crochet, slings it out to Cotton. He's wide open. So the Squirrels say, no, we're going to roll the dice here. They're going to go for 2, and they get it. Like the play call there for Tommy Butler and company, and it works out to perfection, 21-15. DHS here in the 3rd quarter as the Mavericks going to get the ball back, trying to answer back after the Squirrels offense able to work down and cut it into a single possession game with 6:27 remaining in the 3rd.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Central Cass has brought it within a score. After Brody Kegley able to work it down, masterfully down into the Serve Pro red zone. It was punched home by Crochet. Poland's doing a lot of running. Still running backwards as he's back within the 5. Now at the 1-yard line as he just goes down. Oh no. Not what DHS wanted to see there. As Polans was seeing if he could try to return another kick return to the house, but instead gets chased all the way back to his own 1 yard line. And kick returns. That kick return was a big positive to start the third quarter, but that one there puts them behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in the shadow of their own goalpost at the 1 yard line. So now you got to be very careful not to give up the safety. Stevenson hands it off to Turner. He runs into his own lineman, somehow gets out, and some help there late by the quarterback of Stevenson to make sure his running back does not get pushed in. Take a look there at the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. Almost getting pushed there, and here comes the quarterback of Stevenson, making sure that pile drops on the green instead of the blue. So there's a nice effort there by the junior quarterback. That extra push, that prevents his safety, and not only that, they'll say gets a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 coming up. The motion, Leeson into motion. Stevenson going to keep it himself. He'll spin around. His little spin move there as he brings it near the first down marker. They'll mark him about 1.5 yards short. There it is, Leeson. Fakes it to him. Spin move for Stevenson. Works it to the 10-yard line. Again, Paxton Leeson is their top receiver on the season, but has been held in check today. But Central Cass also knows he can make a big play any moment, so you got to keep an eye on him. They do there, which opens the door for Stevenson to keep it himself. They'll hand it off. Turner makes one man miss. He'll pick up a first down, then some, as he's brought down near the 25. All sorts of pumped up on the side after making the tackle for Central Cass was Hunter Rohr, who's shoving his teammates around and everything. Able to run down Turner with 4:40 on the board here in the third quarter. It's a big drive for the Mavericks. You score, you put yourself up by 2 possessions. If you don't, you give a Central Cass team that just worked down the field masterfully back the ball. Down by 6. Stevenson with another keeper, maybe gets a yard on the play. It was Rohr in on the tackle as well. Rohr and Domeyer were the 2 up front, 52 and 54, as those 2 looking onto the sideline, seeing what's coming up here on the play call from their head coach, Butler, on 2nd and 9. Luna now one of the receivers. Ethan Luna on the bottom of your screen. As Stevenson navigates through the pocket, plays it to Leeson, hauls it in for a first down. He spins to about the 46, and we just mentioned Paxton Leeson. He's been held in check. The top receiver on the season. There's his 18th catch on the year. Over 200 receiving yards for Leeson. And that's what happens when you got receivers like Caleb Polans, Dylan Glauser, and Paxton Leeson. Just take your pickings, and then you got other capable targets in Shane Ciani and Ethan Luna who check in from time to time. Stevenson faces some pressure. The door's starting to slam. He loses the ball. Loose ball. Who's got it? Central Cass is saying they do. The Squirrels come up with a fumble recovery of their own. Tommy Butler pumped up for his Central Cass squad. As the fumble gives Central Cass the ball, and now they've got an opportunity. Good field position, ball at the DHS 39, 3:03 remaining in the third. And because they went for 2 and got the 2, that really just opens the door for them in a whole bunch of ways. So then you just kick an extra point and you're on top if you score a touchdown. Kegley lobs a pass to Holland, who hauls it in. Holland at the 23 as he is hit by Dylan Glaser. Holland's had some nice catches here today. Kegley again, all sorts of time. Right outside the red zone, ball at the 23-yard line. For Central Cass, 3 receivers out to the right, a lone one up to the top of your screen of Cotton. They'll hand it off to Crochet. He bounces off to the outside, then tries to cut up, but it's Tolliver and company that push him back, maybe get a yard on the carry for Crochet. Crochet was the player for the Squirrels that brought them within a score after a wildcat run from about the 2-yard line where he hit pay dirt to make this game a 6-point game. Now seeing if they can try to even it up with another touchdown. Kegley delivers another strike. That one will get him to the Serve Pro red zone on the slant route to Cotton. Cotton comes up a little bit limp on the play. There does Blaze as he falls down. But it will be 3rd and 4 coming up for Central Cass. The referees are going to kind of motion Central Cass back a little ways as they work on Blaze Cotton, saying it's not quite a timeout, so the coaching staff over on the Central Cass side has to stay over on the sideline. Player down on the DHS side as well. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, Central Cass continuing to drive down the field here in the 3rd quarter.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Brevera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts.
Let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account.
To wealth management. We'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
3rd and 3 after the quick little injury break. We're back in motion. Brody Kegley in shotgun, trying to keep the Squirrels' drive alive. He hands it off to Crochet. He will pick up a 1st down. He's inside the 10-yard line for Colton Crochet. Serve Pro Red Zone 24/7. Emergency service trained technicians, advanced technology, fire and water cleanup and restoration. It's Serve Pro. 1:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Central Cass knocking on the door. Kegley hands it off to Crochet. He's hit from behind. Give him a gain of 3. This is where it's been the fight, though. Central Cass has worked into the Serve Pro red zone, has 15 points to show for it. But Dickinson's also stopped them twice. So I believe once they've got to the Serve Pro red zone, they're 2 for 4 today. And you got to make the most of your opportunities on both sides, and we'll see what gives. Will it be the defense that makes the stop, or the offense will find pay dirt? Kegley brings in Holland in motion. Slings it to Holland. At the 5, he is brought down right around the 4-yard line. I believe it's Ethan Luna on that far side with the tackle. Him and Jesse Hammond in on the area. As we are under a minute remaining, one more play is the max or the minimum that has to be played. At least one more play here in the 3rd quarter. 17 seconds remaining. Hammond hauling into motion. They hand it off to Crochet. 3rd and short, and he's kept out of the end zone. So when we come back for the 4th quarter, it is going to come up with one of the biggest plays in the game. Just waiting to make sure it is for sure the end of the 3rd quarter, and yes, it is. Triple zeros has hit. 21-15. 4th and 1 coming up at the goal line when we return to start the 4th quarter here on the PSP Network.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins.
Oh, well, we got a ball game here in the Queen City. A one-possession game as we say goodbye to the third quarter and hello to the fourth. That Dickinson High defense that you see on your screen is now faced with what could be the biggest play of the ball game. 4th and goal, and they have the ball at the 3 after Dickinson was able to get a tackle for a loss on the final play of the third quarter. Central Cass coming marking down. They're 2 for 4 in the red zone tonight. This one would tie if they score. If they don't, Dickinson stays on top. Kegley's got a receiver. It's Easton Holland, hauls it in, just gets over the goal line. Maybe too close for comfort for the Squirrels, but hey, 6 is 6, and we've got a tie ball game. 21-21, a 3-yard pitch and catch from Brody Kegley to Easton Holland for the score. (21-21). Matthew Bacow going for the extra point to put Central Cass on top, and he does just that. Bacow's extra point is good. Central Cass has taken the lead. A big 4th down play. 22-21. Squirrels lead. 11:57 remaining in the ball game as Dickinson High going to get the ball when we come back.
At Schatz Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak, or can you? Schatz Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
4th and goal at the 3-yard line, and Central Cass punches it in on the first play of the 4th quarter. A 3-yard pitch and catch from Brody Kegley to Easton Holland. Exactly how Tommy Butler drew that one up. The two juniors connecting on a touchdown to put them up in the 4th quarter. Shuffling around. Here's a stiff arm on the return. Trying to make something out of it there, but being brought down is Caden Shetter. Well, now it's basically you got that 0-0 ball game, but or maybe 1-0 ball game. But this has been quite a game. But you look back to what Tommy Butler did of going for 2. You see coaches do that sometimes when they're down by 2 scores. You go for 2. If you get it that first time, I mean, that just opens the door, and they got it. Allowed them just to kick the extra point this time and take the lead as they lead at 21-22, 11:48 remaining. Luna in motion. Stevenson, plenty of time. Now he's just going to decide to tuck it and run. Stevenson jukes upfield. He's just going to make sure he holds on to it with both hands as he's brought down at the 42. A big run on the quarterback keeper for the junior. See a whole bunch of Squirrels trying to make the tackle at the end. Today's game brought to you in part by BSN. BSN creates exclusive personalized solutions for North Dakota high school and collegiate programs. From custom equipment, uniforms, and coaches' apparel to fan wear, branding, and more. They do it all. Contact your local BSN sales pro today. Lots of movement on the line. Be a false start on DHS. Today's game also brought to you in part by Northern Plains Heating and Air. There's no other choice to seal your heating and air game than Northern Plains Heating and Air. You can call Dylan today at 222-2155 to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter months ahead. New installation upgrades and all your furnace and AC needs. Again, call Dylan today, 222-2155. So after the call on the Mavericks, punching back 5 yards. 11:15 remaining in the fourth quarter and in this ball game. Stevenson slings one, caught by Glauser at the 40. Will pick up a gain of 3. So get back some of that penalty yardage, but won't get far. As in on the tackle, Keaton Link, who's made a couple of nice tackles in this ball game for the Squirrels. Link came into the contest with 6 tackles on the season, averaging about 2 tackles per game. I believe he's gotten around 2 tackles in this game as well, so stays pride and true to that as of now. Some pressure. They fake the pressure on Central Cass. They go back into coverage as Stevenson makes a man miss, but will not make the next level miss there. Wiersma in on the tackle is one of the ones that provides the pressure, as well as Hunter Rohr. Rohr's been pumped up here in the second half. He's been laying the hammer down. No difference there. Comes up with a big time tackle, forcing a 3rd and 14. But as the score sits, we're kind of in this interesting situation where, it's a 1-point game. If Dickinson doesn't score on this drive, it's not the biggest of deals with 10 minutes left. But obviously you'd rather try to get that score as soon as possible as they work it on in to the near side to Pollins, who's pushed out near the original starting point of this possession at the 41. Forcing 4th and 9, and they're going to call for the punt team. Calling for the field position battle. And this is, the field position battle was a battle that Central Cass lost against Devils Lake late in that game, and Devils Lake ended up winning that matchup with a fourth quarter touchdown, 28-21. Central Cass hoping that doesn't happen this time, but it goes through the punter's hands, and Braun tracks it down, trying to get the punt off, but he will not. He is taken down hard, but a flag on the play. We will wait and see what happens. The ball goes through Braun's fingers. It was a face mask on Central Cass, and that's going to redo 4th down. So, hey, for Dickinson, you were just breathing a sigh of relief. Because instead of giving Central Cass the ball in the Serve Pro red zone, you got to try and punt it again. Try to flip that field one more time. This time, hauls it in cleanly and boots in a nice kick. That's going to drop around the 45, have a friendly roll. It goes from 145 to the opposite 45, an extra yard added onto it, as Central Cass going to start it at their own 44 as the ball was scooped up and handed over to the referee by Wyatt Turner. Central Cass's offense has been able to work down the field all night. They were able to take the lead on the first play of the fourth quarter. If they score a touchdown this drive, it doesn't maybe make you feel all that comfortable still, but at least would say, hey, even if Dickinson would score a touchdown, then hey, it's over. Could be overtime at the worst. Kegley hands it off to Crochet. He will get to the 50-yard line, but Tommy Butler might have something brewed up there, as you could even maybe just say, hey, I'm going to go for 2. If we get it, it's got a very comfortable situation. But all hands on to this Dickinson defense. We saw Dickinson Trinity defense, that defensive secondary, making some big plays yesterday. 2 pick sixes that kind of helped secure that game. for the Titans against a Heart River team that hung around all night. Here in this very building just 24 hours ago, Crochet trips down at the 45, but he just needed about 3 yards. He gets exactly that, move the chains. Colton Crochet with another squirrel, first down. 8:40 remaining in the ballgame. Squirrels have built a couple long drives tonight. Longest drive they had was about 5.5, 6 minutes. For them, they want the yards, but they want to tick that clock down as well. Try to limit the possessions that the Mavericks have to try to win this ball game or tie it. Crochet out to the right side. He's going to lower the shoulder as he stumbles in. Some late call there. There's pointing on both sides. We're going to stay right here with you of who it's going to be on. They point towards the Squirrels. 2 penalty markers pretty close next to each other. Unnecessary roughness on the offense. As you see, Crochet bounces to the outside, lowers the shoulder there. They didn't quite catch enough of what happened after the play there, but regardless, 7:46 remaining. Instead of a first down and 10, it's going to be first at about 20 coming up now for the Squirrels. Back in their own zone, ball at the 46. Kegley hands it off to Blixt. He erases that penalty yardage and then some as he dives to the DHS 40. They'll mark him at the 41. A big run for the backup running back, Zane Blixt. Again, he's a guy that came into the day only having 42 yards on the ground in the first 3 games. Well, he's got probably over 50 yards in this game alone. So we had a good way to double up the season stats for Blixt on a solid day. They're going to give it right back to him. A little stutter step as he tries to plow his way into the heart of the Maverick defense. Gains a yard on the play. So we're under 7 minutes remaining. 3rd and 4. But is this 4-down territory for the team out of Central Cass? Trying to get the defense to bite was Kegley. Brody Kegley now going to look behind him. 3rd and 4. Fakes the handoff. Faces some pressure. Backpedaling. Evades the tackler. Slings a pass. It is hauled in for a Central Cass first down. Oh, man. The pocket presence for Kegley. There you see the back end of it. A magician act there. Somehow gets away and delivers another strike. Carter Kozowski in on the reception to move the chains and keep the drive alive for the Squirrels. Kegley on another level right now, and his receivers doing their part. Now he handed off to the running back, Crochet. He surges forward for a gain of about 1. Central Cass right now, number 5 in the polls. Lone loss was against the team that sits above them in the polls this week, Devils Lake, who sits at number 4. They're trying to stay in the top 5. They've had quite the test against the Mavericks here on DHS homecoming night. Long trip for these Squirrels out of Central Cass near the Fargo area. Squirrels hand it off up the gut. Powering forward near the first down. They'll mark him a yard short. Ball comes loose, but I think it was whistled. Regardless, Easton Holland comes out of the pile with it. Making it 3rd and 1. As Crochet, lots of handshakes as he heads back onto the Central Cass sideline for a job well done, making it 3rd and 1. And Hey, the ball's going down the field, and the clock continues to wind down. It's win-win for Central Cass right now. 4:45 remaining on the BNC scoreboard. Kegley, 3rd and 1. Hands the ball off. Near the first down, they'll say just got it. Caden Cheddar helped lead in the charge, him and Blauer, but it was Zane Blixt that falls forward. So they will indeed move the chains. Nice roar there from the Squirrel faithful that made the long trip today. And that will help the clock tick to probably under 4 minutes. Right now at 4:20, but they don't need to snap it for another 16 seconds. Crochet back in the backfield, right behind Kegley. Kegley optioning Holland from the right side to the left. Hands it off to Crochet. Back right to the middle of the gut. Colby Fast Horse pushes him down. Him and Blauer in on the tackle. Easton Blauer's been everywhere here late in this contest, trying to get the Mavericks this big defensive stop. Nate Stevenson looking at the scoreboard, watching the time tick down as you see a beautiful shot of that. He's wondering if he is going to have a shot to lead that Maverick offense down the stretch. But now he turns his attention to Brody Kegley in that Central Cass offense that has worked that clock all the way down to 3:19. Timeout taken on the Squirrels, who lead 22-21. They're in the Serve Pro red zone trying to add to their lead with 3:19 remaining.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There's some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Second and 9 coming up for Central Cass. They have worked and milked this clock down to 3:19 remaining. Ball at the 15-yard line. Kegley slings out a pass to Colin Crochet. Bounces off a tackler there from Colby Fast Horse, and Caden Cheddar the one to finally wrap them up. They're going to say a tackle for a loss. Cheddar with a loss of 1. 3rd and 10. 3rd down. The Cowbells starting to make some noise here for the Mavericks. That Maverick defense. 2:47 now remaining. Looks like they are going to put some time on the clock here. Some type of, well, this looks like 2:47. Now they'll roll it, so time's back on. Kegley scrambles to his right. Tolliver is there, so he'll go back to the left. He finds Gazowski in for the score. Kegley does it again on a 3rd down inside the Serve Pro red zone. Saw the pressure and delivers a strike for 6. Carver Kozowski does it again. He has been making some big plays. And he's filling in for Mason Olson tonight, and that's one way to fill in, is to get a big touchdown with 2:35 remaining. The boot is good. The PAT, count it, for Central Cass, who leads 29-21. Brody Kegley puts the Squirrels up by 8 with 2.5 minutes remaining. 2.5-minute drill coming on the way. And Nate Stevenson and the Mavericks when we return in the 4th quarter on the PSP Network.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Pregame Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts
Let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account.
to wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals. Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Welcome back in. Here to the PSP Network, 29-21. Brody Kegley to Carver Kozowski. There you see a shot of Nate Stevenson. He was looking at the scoreboard when Central Cass was driving down the field as time continued to tick on the BNC National Bank scoreboard. And he indeed will have a chance. He will get the ball with 2:35. But for him, he's got to get the touchdown. And they also need a 2-point conversion. Stevenson in this Maverick team was in a very similar boat with around 2-minute drill against Fargo South here a couple weeks ago in the home opener for the Mavericks. But it was a fumble and a scoop and score for Fargo South that let the Bruins pick up the victory. Stevenson seeing if he can conduct this one to get to overtime. But wait a second, they're going to say potential fumble. We'll wait and see. You saw Tommy Butler, the head coach for the Squirrels, almost run onto the field, but no, they are going to say Stevenson was down. Stevenson ruled down. It'll be a loss of 3. Trying to be the hero in this thrilling game. Stevenson faces pressure from Wiersma, ducks underneath, lobs a pass as he's hit in and out of the hands of Glauser. Those two have connected on a 70-yard touchdown already in this game, and that would have been a big-time throw and catch that would have got them in to Central Cass territory, but Glauser could not quite hold on to it. Something to note late in this game, Mavericks have all 3 timeouts left. If we get to that point here after this play, if the Mavericks don't pick up the first down, we'll see what McLaughlin would try to do. If you punt and just trust the defense or you just keep the offense back out there. Facing pressure, Stevenson settles in to throw off the hands of Pollins. It was almost picked off. Zane Blixt was right there. You see he kind of clutched his hands a little bit. Was hoping that he could have picked that one off, and now it's fourth down, a decision-making time for first-year head coach Dawson McLaughlin on a 2-minute drill, 2:08 remaining. Needing 8 points, it's 4th and 13, ball at your own 30. What's the play to dial up? You need 13 yards. Stevenson. It's got time. He's going to heave one deep in and out of the hands of Paxton Leeson. Stevenson and the Mavericks go for broke. It was going to be one of those home run hitters there for the Mavericks. Stevenson just heaves one. And through the hands of Leeson. A beautiful play design. Just could not quite capitalize on the opportunity, but this one yet to be decided with 2:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. Again, the Mavericks have all 3 timeouts remaining, so nothing guaranteed yet. It falls on the Maverick defense. They need to get a stop and keep Central Cass off the scoreboard. But Crochet powers through and picks up a chunk of yards there, a gain of 7. As Dawson McLaughlin and the Mavericks will take their first of 3 timeouts they have remaining. Central Cass leads 29-21, 1:58 remaining in this thrilling contest at the Bijou Activity Center.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
There you see some of the offensive playmakers for DHS. Stevenson, Leeson, Ciani. They are waiting and seeing if their defense can come up with a big stop to give them one last chance. 1:58 remaining in the ball game. DHS still has 2 timeouts left. 2nd and 4, right outside the Serve Pro red zone for Central Cass. Brody Kegley, if he picks up a first down, I don't know if that time-wise would guarantee a win, but it would for sure be pretty close to getting down to triple zeros to get that first down. They hand it off to Crochet near the first down marker. Fast Horse and Company come in, and it looks like they will give them the first down marker by a yard. First down on the play as the second timeout will be taken for the Mavericks. They got 1 timeout left, 1:51 on the board. Central Cass still leads by a score.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it.
Drop it.
We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game.
Got the student sections getting rowdy. I believe that's the Central Cass student section out there. They're loving what they're seeing from the Squirrels. Kegley hands it off to Crochet. He breaks loose the 10, the 5, touchdown, Squirrels. And that might have just done it for Central Cass as Crochet hits the Jets and turns it into 6. High fives all around on the Central Cass sideline. Here it is on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. Sheds off a tackler, 1 to beat, plays a little stiff arm, and somersaults in for what could be the game-sealing touchdown happening in the final 2 minutes of the ball game. Bacau boots it through, and it is good for Central Cass as the Squirrels now lead 36-21, 1:44 remaining in the ballgame. DHS offense trying to see if they can come up with some big plays as we're going to keep it right on here as they are ready to hit the field already. But it was a touchdown from Colton Crochet that might have just called game. Not quite over yet, especially with the arm strength that Stevenson has. But you're going to need some luck on your side if you are Dickinson High, seeing if you can play some magic here on homecoming night. Bacau with a little squib kick. Works to the 25, and it goes out of play. Today's game brought to you in part by the Aggie Foundation. Vote each week for the PSP Network Player Performance of the Week. Nominees will be posted on social media each Monday, with the winner announced on Thursday. The Player Performance of the Week is sponsored in part by the Aggie Foundation. You can learn about their charitable work at aggiefoundation.com. Well, we might have one of our nominees of the week coming into this ball game right now. that you'll see next week. Again, you can vote for the Aggie Foundation Player of the Week on our social media pages on PSP Network. Stevenson faces some pressure, and he is sacked by the duo that has been hitting hard all day. Hunter Domeyer and Evan Wiersma with the sack, and Dickinson is forced to call their final timeout of the ballgame. I believe, wait a second, unless it was an injury timeout. No, I believe it is an actual timeout, if I'm not mistaken here. They did point towards the DHS side. So both teams will be huddled up as we take this break. Again, going to thank our sponsors during this break in the action. Big thanks out to Minot State, Northern Plains Heating and Air, BSN, Farstead Oil, Bones Barbecue Sauce, and the Aggie Foundation, as well as Charbonneau Car Center, Planning Team Financial Advisor, Shots Crossroads, Sports Clips. Again, the Sports Clips Player of the Game coming up during the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. You don't want to miss it. Big thanks out to BNC National Bank, Valvoline Instant Oil Change, First International Bank and Trust, Ryan Family Dealership, Serve Pro. All of our great sponsors, can't thank them enough. They make these broadcasts possible. It's been a fun one tonight. Stevenson, though, seeing if he can try to rally the troops here for the Mavericks. Stevenson slings it to Glauser, caught at the 38, makes the man miss as he will bring it on to the 47-yard line. Gets that extra 2 yards to move the chains. Time, though, not on the side of the Mavericks. Time stops momentarily, and they will start it back up, and that was a timeout taken. So Mavericks are out of timeouts, 1:13 remaining. Stevenson, plenty of time, works to his right. He is scrambling. There's going to be a flag going to be thrown as yes, that one was pretty clear as day, as you see there, a jersey getting ripped all sorts of different directions, and that's what you got to do, just flail the arms up, trying to get the attention of the referees. Nothing you can do there. 1:04 remaining. That will move DHS back some yards. And sometimes that's kind of what happens when these offensive linemen, they're holding their own, and then the quarterback scrambles out of the pocket, and you just got to sometimes latch on to one of those defenders. In and out of the hands of Shane Ciani, goes incomplete, make it second down with 1:01 on the board. First target to Ciani, could not quite haul that one in. For Central Cass, they are 61 seconds away from ending their inaugural season of being up at the 2A level. Their first non-region slate, 3-1, before they get into EDC play next week. Stevenson sacked on the play. So ending non-region competition, looks like Central Cass will be 3-1 before they start their route to the playoffs. For Dickinson High, they'll be 1-3. And these Central Cass Squirrels, number 5 in the media polls this week. They were, I believe at the beginning of the season, I want to say they were at 4, and they might have climbed up as high as 3 in the media poll, somewhere around there. But again, sitting at number 5 this week. Stevenson, small play to Glauser at their own 40. He spins around at the 49-yard line. 12 seconds remaining, and that is probably going to do it. The Mavericks trying to hustle to maybe get one play in, but it looks like that will be the ball game. As Central Cass able to prevail on the road trip, the Squirrels move to 3-1, defeating the Mavericks on homecoming night for Dickinson High. Final score 36-21. Charbonneau Car Center post-game show coming our way on the PSP Network when we return.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with a hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7, pressure, points, yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Final score here on the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. Central Cass 36, Dickinson 21, and another thrilling contest here at the Bijou Activity Center. It's been the home of a ton of great football games here to start the 2025 season. It don't matter if it's a single A or a double A game. This stadium has produced fireworks and no different today, so let's jump right into it. Again, pregame show brought to you by Charbonneau Car Center. At Charbonneau Car Center, they know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, and Wilson, North Dakota, and Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, and need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. You can visit them online, charbonneaumotors.com. It all started off in this one as two possessions that were about 6 minutes for both sides. For Central Cass, they worked down the field at about a 5.5-minute drive, but with a couple of penalties, it forced a long field goal, and it was below the uprights, making it 0-0, keeping it that scoreless way. DHS would drive down the field, get to the 1-yard line. Wyatt Turner punched it in for the score, 7-0 Mavericks. Next drive, on the ensuing drive, it was Central Cass starting the second quarter with a touchdown of their own, as their quarterback had a stellar game of Brody Cagley. Cagley found Blaze Cotton for their first connection, 7-7. 3 minutes later, it was a 70-yard pitch and catch from Nate Stevenson out to Dylan Glosser, 70 yards. Back on top were the Mavericks, 14-7. Central Cass, 3-minute drill, drove all the way down inside the 5-yard line. They had it at the 2. With just a minute left before halftime, ball comes loose, and it's Caden Cheddar. And the Mavericks jump on top of it, 14-7. Mavericks on top at the half. Everything stayed in the Mavericks' favor to start the second half as well. First play was a kick return for the touchdown for Caleb Polans. 80-yard touchdown, 21-7. And then at the 6:27 mark, though, the Central Cass Squirrels would not go away without a fight, and it was Colton Crochet who had himself a day there. He had a Wildcat quarterback run, 21-15 after they got the 2-point try. They got close in near the end zone in the end of the third quarter. They transition into quarter number 4 at the 4th and goal around the 3-yard line, and that is what would bring us into today's move. If they don't, Dickinson stays on top. Cagley, got a receiver. It's Easton Holland, hauls it in, just gets to put them on top. 22-21. It was a big-time play, and again, that was 4th and goal at the 3, first play in the fourth quarter. And that would give them the lead they needed, 22-21. They would score 2 touchdowns late in the contest in the fourth quarter. 2 touchdowns in the last 3 minutes of play to secure the win for the Squirrels. Carver Kozowski would have a 15-yard touchdown reception, and Crochet would get another one on the ground, 36-21. Dickinson had a shot around a 2.5, 3-minute drill, but again, just could not quite get there as turned the ball over on downs, and Central Cass would have that last touchdown for that final score, 36-21. Great contest, back in fourth action between these two, and again, another game that kind of comes down to the final couple of minutes, but Central Cass's offense, they were held to only 7 points in the first half, but broke out for 29 points in the second half en route to that victory. That now brings us up for the player of the game, as now we'll see who the player of the game is, as Sports Clips brings you the MVP of the sports matchup. Sports Clips is the home of the MVP haircut experience. Nothing comes close to making you feel like an MVP, quite like the MVP experience at Sports Clips. Tonight's Sports Clips MVP goes out to Central Cass's junior quarterback, Brody Cagley. Cagley, he came into the day averaging a 72% completion percentage, and he was spectacular in this one. He was able to set up some nice plays down the stretch, and not only that, 3 passing touchdowns for Cagley, and even that 2-point conversion. It was a throwing, or that 2-point conversion he played a big part in, but the game-sealing play that was the go-ahead and then the game-sealing touchdown, both in the hands of Cagley, made some big-time plays in the contest, and that's why he's your Sports Clips MVP tonight. Well, now, before we sign off, let's take a check-in at the Score Check. Scores around 2A. Grand Forks Central victorious over Watford City, 40-12. Bismarck St. Mary's gets their first win against Wahpeton, 34-14. Number 4, Devils Lake, 39 to Fargo South, 23. Minot North stays undefeated, 28-7. Kindred defeated Jamestown, 49-6, and Grand Forks Red River over Williston, 49-12. So that's going to do it there for your 2A scores. A big time week here on the PSP Network, and we have got another big slate of games coming your way next week. And look at that schedule for Tuesday to start next week. Volleyball, and it's a lot of WDA volleyball there. Century versus Bismarck High, St. Mary's versus Dickinson, Mandan versus Minot North. Also got some Class A volleyball with Botno and DLB, and some boys soccer, Minot versus Minot North on Tuesday. Big slate of games for football coming your way on Friday next week. We'll be right back here at the Bijou Activity Center for Dickinson versus Watford City next weekend. But again, final score on homecoming night for Dickinson. Mavericks fall short against Central Cass, 36-21. Big thanks out to our sponsors that made this broadcast possible. Big thanks out to our camera operators today, Zach Sprague, and our producer, Austin Rotz. Could not do it without those guys, but that is going to do it for the final time here at the Bijou Activity Center this week. I'm Brock Weidner. Central Cass victorious 36-21. They moved to 3-1 on the season.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with a hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Point. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.